Today I want to talk to you about a line of spas called Be Well. As you know, we in our showrooms we carry the Arctic Spas Core, Classic, and Custom series, but in addition to that, we brought in this lineup, the Be Well lineup, to address a price point issue. We wanted a spa that could be in that lower end of the medium range for pricing so that we get more people into hot tubs. But because we're Arctic and we want product that's going to be suitable for all weather climates and stuff, I was tasked with the job of finding a line of spas that was quite similar to the way the Arctics are built. Now there's certainly some differences, but I wanted to go over, first of all, what's the same. So the core design of the product is the same in that Be Well utilizes the perimeter heat lock insulation system, meaning the insulation is primarily on the outside edges of the spa, and of course the cover being the top and the floor being the insulation on the bottom. So you have an insulated box and the equipment is inside that insulated box. Now, what's critically important is that we're able to do the heat transfer. So the shell of the spa from Be Well is actually built exactly the same way we build the Custom and Classic series Arctic Spa shell, meaning that it's an acrylic with a vinyl ester skin coat and then a polyester fiberglass coating until it gets to a nice thickness where it's structurally sound. I wanted to take a minute to just show the inside of the no maintenance cabinet. Now, we've actually removed, on this side, we've removed the insulation so that you could see this, but you can see there's no foam on the shell. So like the Arctics, there's no foam on the shell, and this is a fiberglass shell. So if I put my hand on here, it's going to radiate the heat. This is like the hot water vessel, a hot water bottle inside an insulated box, and you can actually see what the insulation looks like when you look through the sides there. You can see it. It's the kind of SF type foam. It's got the metallized barrier to reflect cold away from it. So you got this, it's about a 2-inch barrier in here, and so this, and the floor has the insulation, this has the insulation, of course you have your cover on top. So it's a completely insulated box. It's not quite as robust of insulation as you'd have on Arctic with the spray foam, because the spray foam like seals every little crack, but I have to say it really does seal well. We actually have to, they've got little units that allow us to pull the stuff out because it fits so tightly, right? You see it has a solid substructure. But that the shell itself doesn't require any substructure. There's no beams or metal reinforcements under here or PVC pipes or wood or anything like that. It's a self-supporting hull. And that's really important because if I start putting stuff underneath there, then this shell can flex and that can cause cracking over the long term, right? So it's a really well-built product. Uses the exact same pumps we're using on the top of the line Arctics, using the exact same equipment pack that we use on Core and Classic. Just a really great spa. Now these are also built in Canada. These are built right in Lachute, Quebec, and it's an excellent facility. They build spas for cold places just like Arctic does. They're kind of an up-and-coming spa manufacturer. I guess I kind of see them as like an Arctic light. But what I like about them is they're a very feature-rich product line. The electronics that they're using on these are the same manufacturer, Gecko Electronics, the YE5 series, which is what we use on the Core product as well as on the Classic product for Arctics. So it's the same electronic controls. In fact, the top sides that they use is a step up than we use on either Core or Classic. So it's a really nice top side. In fact, on the Maple series and on the 920 product, it's using a full touchscreen, which we'll see when we go through the individual models. But Be Well uses no maintenance cabinetry on all of their spas, and you can see it's a really nice looking product. It uses the under the lip style, which is like on a Core, and basically it's the industry standard now. Most companies don't use the top and bottom rails, so that's one difference you'll see between the Arctic Classic and the Arctic Custom Series spas. The filtration system is utilizing that kind of active skimmer concept. It's a standard generic filter that I like, so it can utilize our Silver Sentinel filter or depth filters. The Be Well product also has the built-in headrest. Really nice designed molds. One of the things I like about the Be Well product is that when they put lounges in the spa, they follow the same philosophy Arctic does, which is we don't have these seats tilted back too far. We want you sitting more in an upright position with the legs extended out when you're in a lounge, because if we tilt it back too far, then what ends up happening is that your bottom lifts up and you fly out of the seat, particularly when you have jets and bubbles and stuff lifting you up out of the lounge. So these upright lounges are really, really a good use of space. As well, you sit in the spa in a way that you're not going to float out. So we want to be able to massage you. That's how we do it. You see there's an excellent distribution of jets. All of the Be Wells that we're bringing in have a lot of jets in them. They have at least 2 pumps. On many of the series, they also have a blower in them as well. Some have the blower. I think actually maybe only the 354 has the blower in it, which gives you a 3rd pump actually. We like the fact that everything that is used in the spa is very similar to what we have in the Arctic. So for our technicians, it's very easy for us to repair. They have access panels from all sides, the same as on Arctics, so that if we have to get into one of the sides that maybe the equipment's not at, we can still get into that side. And as you can see, there's a lot of jets in the spa, so being able to access from all sides allows us over time, if we ever have to address a leak or if we ever have to repair any fittings or anything like that, it's easy enough for us to be able to do that. Another thing that I think is really great about their spa is that, like Arctic, they believe that you need a nice, big, thick cover on top. And I can't stress this enough. In cold places, the lid of the spa is your attic. So it's where most of the heat escapes on spas. So having a nice, thick cover is going to give you better insulation. It's also going to be able to handle snow load better. It is a tapered cover, so that allows water to run off of the cover. So there's a good taper on there. The cover does have built-in locks that affix to the side of the cabinet, and we recommend everybody get a lifter mounted system. This creates a barrier from one side. It also keeps the cover from slamming down into the ground and eventually wearing out that way, right? It's made with nice marine grade vinyl that has a -20 cold crack. So it's a great cover, comparable to what we have. It doesn't have the Milovac like we have on the custom and classic series spas, but it's still every bit as good as any cover that anybody else out there offers, and I would say it's even better than the covers that are offered on the Core Series Arctic spas. So it's a very good cover. Drains to allow water to drain through so it doesn't absorb water that way. This spa itself is just an excellent layout. The fittings and stuff that are utilized are all industry standard fittings. It's got underwater lighting, backlit fittings, so your top fittings and stuff are backlit. There's water features built in as well. It's just the Be Well line is an excellent value for the money that you spend lineup. Continuing to show you the Be Well line of spas. The one sitting in front of me right here is a part of their party series, they call, but it's more than a party spa. What I do like about it, though, is it is a medium-sized spa, 7 foot by 7 foot rough dimensions, with a built-in lounger. Like all of the lounges that we recommend, it's an upright lounge. So this lounge sits up nice and high. There's a pocket. You've got armrests on the one side to kind of hold you in and prevent you from sliding into the water. Lots of jetting all the way down the lounge, all the way up the back, even hand jets or wrist jets, depending on how you want to use those there. Foot jets at the bottom of the lounge. This also has jetting everywhere. I think there's 72 jets on 2 pumps in this. It's called the 910 party tub. We have another model almost identical to this, except that it has 3 pumps in it. But the 910 is designed to hit that price point that's going to get most people can afford this spa in their backyard. Built-in headrests, 4 built-in headrests, air controls to control various zones of air being injected through the jets. Each zone is controlled by its own controller. There is a water feature on here, which you'll see on the opposite side. There's those 2 little fittings actually pop up and laminar flows come out of those, and those are controlled by this valve right here. Next to that, you can actually see there's a larger fitting. This fitting here, this is designed to shift the flow from one area of the spa to another area of the spa. So because there's 2 pumps and a lot of jets on here, this allows you to move and zone the jetting. So you can switch from one zone to the other just by moving this, instead of actually having to turn off these on and off. Now, it is nice that each of these jets can be turned on and off, so you have control of the flow. There's quite an assortment of jets as well. You'll notice that there's these directional jets where you can pinpoint a specific spot, and then there's these pulsating jets, which gives you that thumping kind of shiatsu type massage. Really nice from that point of view. There is we call a volcano style jet, but it's not like, it doesn't take the full force. On all the other volcano jets that we have, this is just an additional jet. So it gets its flow, and you can put pretty good flow out there, but you can't put the flow of one whole pump out that. On some of the other models, we can use the diverter to divert to the volcano jet, and it'll actually shoot right up out of the spa. Just so that everybody's clear, on the 910 model, it's a foot jet. It is not the traditional volcano jet that will come right up out of the spa. Why I like it is you've got lots of deep seating in this spa. There is multi-levels of seating. It's quite easy to reach foot jets, so even if you're smaller, you can sit in the higher seat and reach a foot jet. That is another benefit of having that centrally located jet. You can also use that jet on different areas of your body. If you want to sit in the footwell itself, you can use it on different parts of your back. You could use it on the front of your knees. There's quite a few options with that. I really like the fact that even though you've got a lounge in here, you could definitely fit 6 people in this spa quite easily. So it's a really popular model. One last feature, and probably why they give this the party spa name, is it's got this little ice bucket here. So if you want to chill a few drinks and stuff, it's got a drain built into it. So as the ice melts, you don't have to worry about scooping it out, or otherwise it drains out of the tub in this little ice bucket area here. The B-wells come with a nice thick cover, 5 to 4 inch tapered cover to allow the water to run off. The cover is lockable, so it's an ASTM rated safety cover. Just a fantastic spa. I think that if you're on a bit of a budget and you can't really afford maybe the Arctic line, that's why we brought these in. You know, a similar Arctic would be $3,000 or $4,000 more than this spa, and yet this is constructed very, very similarly to that. It's a lot like our classics is with regard to warranty and stuff like that, so it's in a similar range to there. So it's a really great value spa. Feature rich, lots of jets, LED lighting, water features, great cover, no maintenance cabinet, access from all sides, and of course it features that perimeter insulation, which allows us to recover the waste heat from the pump motors to help in heating the spa, which is going to lower your monthly bill. This is the 910 Party Spa from B-Well. I hope you like it. I am happy to show you or introduce you to the top of the line 920 B-Well Party Tub. They call it a party tub. It must be the fancy lights in it. As you can see, it has LED lighting along all of your top controls. Right now it's running a program that just scrolls through. You can choose color wheel, you can choose a solid color. This particular spa has a full digital top side. So this is Gecko's top topside or top of the line topside called a K1000. This is also on the Be Well Maple Series tub. It's a beautiful full color display. It's like having a little iPad, waterproof iPad built right into the spa. And so that's how I can control things like the light, right? So I can press the light on and now it's going into a different mode, right? So I believe this is color wheel. So it's slowly changing the color. Or if I hit it again on and off, it's going to do a flashing party mode there. This is a fast color wheel. And then usually there's some solid color. So you got your red, green, blue, and so on, right? So that's that. There is 2 water features there, which I'll try not to blow out of the tub this time. If I turn that, you can see those come on. And if this was dark, you'd actually see the light coming out the laminar. But it's a nice little feature. Looks pretty.
Turn that again?
Yeah, this just right here. That controls that. So I can turn it so it's just trickling, if you like that trickling sound. Or if you want more of a thing. If you turn this on high speed at this point, that's going to shoot those right out of the spa. I did that earlier when we were preparing for this. So yeah, make sure you have the valve off if you're going to turn your pump on high speed. So a lot of people find that soothing. Nice little feature. This particular tub has 3 water pumps in it. So it's got the same 72 jets that you would have in the 910 party tub, but with the 920, instead of having 2 pumps, it has 3 pumps, which allows us to have more pressure per jet in the tub. As well, it has a diverter valve. So the diverter valve, I'm not really sure which of these pumps it's on. I'm going to actually divert it with the pumps off, because that's way easier to turn these valves when it's off. So I'm going to turn this, and what you're going to see is that jet down on the bottom of the footwell there. It is a volcano jet, and we'll very quickly discover which it's not that one. So it's not pump 1. It's pump 2. So as you can see, it really gets the water going. So that's on full blast. So you might want to have it on full blast next time. So I'll back that off a little, and we'll try it again. And creating more work for mopping up here. Let's go. So you can see it's zoned between this seat and the corner seat and here. So you can use that valve to control. You can turn it when it's on high speed, but it's a little harder to turn. If it's off, then that valve is very easy to turn. All touchscreen controls. As you can see, even though it's wet, it is working. But I will mention to people that whenever you're working with any of these types of touchscreens and stuff, if my hands are really wet and the top side's wet, it may not pick it up. So I tell people have a microfiber cloth so that you can, just wipe this here, make sure your finger's dry, and then that way you always can touch this and it'll work. If you find it's not responding, it's most likely because your fingers are wet. You can invert the display. Let me see if I can figure out how to do that. Yeah, right here. Right? You see it says normal. That's if I'm on the outside. If I go inverted, it flips it so that you can use it from the inside of the tub. Since we're out here, I'm going to flip it back to normal, and it flips back. Right? The other thing is you control your temperature with up-down arrows. So if I want it to go up, I want it to go down, I can change it. This one also has a feature that a lot of tubs don't have, but Arctic is always worried about. We always want to make sure that, some people, they've had hot tubs for a very long time, and the old mechanical thermostats were quite inaccurate. So even though the display would say 102 or 103, it would actually be 104 or 105. Or they've relied on a ducky floating around, or a ducky thermometer, and the ducky thermometer says it's only 102, but in fact it's actually 104 105 or something like that. So some people that have had spas like them really hot. And for UL approval, we have to cap it at 104, which is 40 degrees Celsius. But we do have a feature where we can actually increase this. Now see, it's not letting me go past 104. That's the cap. But we have a secret. If you hold this, it'll override. See, override up to 106. Right? So you can actually, if you really want a hot tub, you can actually override. And that's just to engage the heater now. Right? So I'm going to turn it back. Now what's interesting, you notice I'm under the set point now, but it's still on. Well, that's because it turned the heater on, and when the heater's been on, it's like a stove element almost inside the water there. So when that thing's on, if I just shut it off, then the water that's inside that tube would get very, very hot, and it would send an error saying, hey, the water in the tub's too hot, and cause some problems. So this is actually engaged in a cool-off cycle. So it's gonna run at low speed for 3 minutes until that cools down, right? So this is using the Gecko YE5 controls. Very, very good spa pack. This also has the in-stream stereo system. I generally don't recommend building spas into, or building stereos into spas, because nowadays you can go buy a portable, speaker that you can use not only when you're in the spa. You could use that when you're outside doing anything, or use it in your house as well. So having it built in, but this is the party tub, so I think they thought it'd be a good idea. So I actually hooked it up to my phone here earlier. We'll see if I'm still hooked up. It's Bluetooth. There's a couple of other ways you can connect if you don't have Bluetooth, but Bluetooth seems to be the easy way most people do it. So I'll just see if I'm connected here. I'll go to music here. So there's a music icon. I press the music icon, I hit play, and now I'm playing through these speakers. So these speakers, actually, I was pretty impressed with the sound. So I'd play some hard rock music or some classic rock right now, but then I'd have all kinds of copyright issues that I'd have to deal with. So we have some generic rights-free music for you to listen to here. So thank you for whoever produced this music for us. It's awesome. Anyway, so it has that feature in there. It's much like playing music off an iPad. You can control all of it from the top side of the unit itself, like it was an iPad, or you could control it from your phone. You have both choices available to you. So that's the music. We can. Now it's playing rock music. Nobody heard that. Okay. Of course, we can control all of the other functions from the spa from here. So if I want to set the filtration cycle, if I want to set a maintenance schedule so that I remember to check the filter or that sort of thing, can all be done from here. This particular spa, we actually have been purifying with the Saltron Mini. I don't have the actual electrode in. I took it out for the video, but it just hangs in the side. We do have the anode just sitting near the filter there. And you can see it's already doing its job, which is to take metals out of there instead of wrecking the plate of your electrode. You'll also notice this little unit right here. This is actually your wine bucket. So if you want to put some wine or a couple of drinks or something in there, you could put, doesn't have to be wine, of course. You can have a non-alcoholic beverage as well. But if you want to keep your beverages cold, it does have a drain on it that drains right out the bottom. Party tub also features cabinet lighting, which is nice, exterior cabinet lighting. So a pretty high-end version of their tub. Like the other B wells, it comes with a polar sized cover. So it's got like a full 5-inch to 4-inch tapered cover that's built very well. And certainly it's the most important area to insulate. Just a really great spa. 72 jets. It uses the same seating configuration as the 910. The So it's got the no float kind of lounge where you're sitting more upright with a nice pocketed area that you're not going to float out of when these jets are lifting, trying to lift you up out. Lots of jetting for all parts of the body. Really, you can see there's hip jets, there's foot jets, there's jets all the way down your legs, anywhere along your back or neck area. Lots of headrests built into it. As well, it has that volcano jet, which I showed you, can shoot right up out of the top. Now, the nice thing is that it's not going to do that if you're sitting there. And with a jet that shoots that high, you're able to actually massage, your shoulder. You're able to massage the front of your body. You're able to do things that in spots. Spas do such a great job of massaging the back of our body because we're sitting in it and the jets are hitting us from behind. But what about the other half of our body? So I love that jet because it allows me to massage my knees. It allows me to massage my thighs, the front of my body, as well as my chest and my shoulders and that sort of thing. So it's a really versatile spa. Not to mention, you can actually sit down in the footwell, and if you want to get really deep massage somewhere, you're never going to get deeper massage than that, because you literally saw you can take the full strength of one pump and run it out that one jet. That is only available on the BeWell 920 that we carry, as well as the Maple Series Ottawa that we carry. I think they call it the 720. So those are the two units that allow us to do that. And that's the BeWell 920 party tub.